In this episode, I am answering your questions that were submitted to me all through the month of February through Instagram DMs, email, voice note, and more. We're getting into how do I sign new members consistently for a mid ticket membership without sales calls? What's more important, content or community? Where to focus energy first when you're trying to hit your first six-figure a year? How to transition from one on one services to a membership? Is it a good idea to have a $20 membership if you actually want to make good money in online memberships and more? This episode is packed full, so let's get into it. Welcome to the $1,000,000 Memberships Podcast, where we help entrepreneurs like yourself start, grow, and scale multiple six- and seven-figure online memberships with simple, step-by-step strategies that actually work.
Your life is about to get so good.
Let's dive in. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the $1,000,000 Memberships Podcast. We are at my favorite time of the month, which is our Q&A. If you are new here, first of all, welcome. I am so stoked you're here. My name is Paige, and here we talk all things building, scaling, growing online memberships. Doesn't matter if you are brand new, just thinking of starting a membership, or if you already have a successful established membership and maybe you're making six figures and you're wanting to scale to multiple six or seven figures, this is the podcast for you.
Hi.
And I am recording while my daughter is here today. That never happens, but it's just the timing of everything. So Gray's here on the mic, my little angel. Anyways, let's get into it. This is such a good episode. I love our Q&A. We got a lot of great questions in this month, and we even got some email submissions in this month, which I was really excited about. So I'm excited. Let's get into it. No more talking from me. Let's just dive right in. So the first question that we got is from Arjun. And Arjun says, how do I sign new members consistently for a mid-ticket membership without sales calls? So first things first, whether or not you have a mid-ticket membership or a low-ticket membership or a high-ticket membership, unless your membership is extremely in demand, like I am talking, you are constantly waking up to new sales. There are people flooding in left, right, and center to just have a membership link. Say your main platform is on Instagram, to just have your membership link on Instagram or promoting it on your stories or using your membership as your call to action. Hey, if this is interesting to you, come join the membership. That in and of itself is going to be really hard to sell your membership, especially in this day and age. There's so much on social media. It's so fast now. Even doing it through email is getting really tough to just sell specifically your membership right from an email unless there's something else that's gone with it first. So the first rule of thumb here is if you are wanting to sell without a sales call, it is really, really important that you have a funnel in place that replaces what the sales call would do. So essentially, your sales funnel needs to be something that identifies a problem. So, like, really puts the problem right in front of your audience's face. If this is what you're struggling with and this is what you want, here is a free resource guide, ebook, podcast, masterclass, anything to help you get from this point to this point. Okay, so you want to have something that's going to bring people in at a very low barrier to entry, which is going to be something free. That is the first thing. So from that funnel, from that free resource, that is going to be what actually sells your membership. Don't just try and expect people to see your link and hop into your membership. Now, we use that funnel as what a sales call would normally do, right? So that funnel is replacing what a sales call would do. So that funnel needs to do what a sales call would do. So the way you get people into that funnel is you have to have something for them that is so valuable, something that they actually want. So an example could be a masterclass, right? Something that is actually really valuable, something that is actually going to help them with whatever it is that they're wanting help with. So before we get into the steps of what this funnel actually has to cover, just some ground rules of your funnel. We are in 2026. Your funnel cannot just be a free guide that's like a 2-page PDF that doesn't do anything. It has to be something so good, something where when you put it out into the world, you are actually asking yourself, should I put this out for free? I don't know. That feels a little bit much. I feel like this definitely needs to be have some kind of price point. That's how good it has to be. It has to be something that is actually going to help solve a very specific problem for your perfect member, for your ideal client. It also must be delivered in a way for your ideal client. So, for an example, let's just say you speak to truck drivers. Maybe your membership is geared towards truck drivers. I know a lot of you probably don't have memberships like that, but hear me out. It's just what came to my mind because I saw a truck drive by. You probably don't want to have a free guide or a course that they have to go through because you always have to be so sensitive to what is going to be the best method of delivery for your ideal client. If you have truck drivers as your ideal client, but you're getting them to sit and watch a course, when are they going to do that? The only time that they actually sit and can't be focused on the road is when they are at a stop, eating, sleeping, whatever. I'm sure they don't want to sit on a course during that time. So, a better method of delivery for your ideal client in this case would be something like a mini podcast or mini audio series, something that they can actually listen to. Okay. So you always just want to think what is actually going to be the best way for my ideal client to get this information. Okay, so now that we got those basics down, there's 5 steps that we need to really nail in if we want to make sure that our funnel is going to sell for us and that we don't have to get on sales calls anymore. So the first thing is that you need to make sure that the problem is undeniable. So your funnel should really help them get closer to solving that problem. So when you are trying to get people into your funnel to warm them up to sell them instead of doing a sales call, number one is you need to make sure they're actually going to come into your funnel and that your marketing is marketing to a problem that they actually have or that they actually understand that they have. So, for example, if you're an online business coach and you keep marketing to people, telling them that your free masterclass is going to help them live a great life or a life of freedom, what the fuck does that actually mean? You need to get so specific on a single problem that they're having that they want to solve, and that is what you need to market to. It is your job to make sure that there is increased awareness of around what's actually not working for them. So really pointing out maybe what they could be doing, what they're doing on a day-to-day basis that is actually leading to the problem or making the problem relevant in their life or keeping them stuck in the problem. If you've been around here for a while, if you're a member of mine, if you've been a client of mine, you know one of my things is I don't like to my approach to marketing is not pain point heavy focused because personally it just doesn't really feel great for me to like stick the knife in and twist it around and hone in on this is your problem, this is your pain. That's not really my thing. But that being said, it is really important still that you do make it very clear what the problem is. So, whatever it is that your people are going through, or whatever problem it is that your ideal client has, you need to make sure that that is addressed in your funnel. Number two, this is where I really like to focus is we need to then clarify what the desired outcome is. So, on the complete opposite side of the coin, they have this one pain point, they have this problem. Okay, cool. Where do they actually want to be? So, that needs to be addressed in your marketing for your funnel as well. So, again, if you have a masterclass, what problem is it solving? 3 main problems, as specific, as clear, as real people example as you actually can get. That needs to be there. And then also, what is this helping them either solve or get 10 steps closer to solving? This needs to be so clear. And also, it needs to be specific. If you, for instance, have this wide goal, like so for example, for $1 Million Memberships Club, it's a huge result to say, here, come watch my masterclass and you'll have a 7-figure membership. That's just not the reality. And I can't promise that. That would be fake news. However, what I can do is I can break down a very specific system that I use inside of my membership or that I use inside of what I teach my members inside of my membership that gets them closer to the 7-figure membership. So for an example, My masterclass highlights an exact 4-step system that I use to get you to a 7-figure membership. And basically what this does is it doesn't get you to necessarily the 7-figure membership, but it gets people who come into this masterclass a very clear idea of what they actually have to work on, what their first initial steps should be if that is their goal to have a 7-figure membership. And that is getting them 20 steps closer. Now, inside of the funnel itself, obviously, whatever it is that you are using for your funnel, whether it's a free podcast series, a masterclass, a guide of some sort, obviously that has to get them the value that you're promising. So I'm not really going to go over that. But step number 3 is that you need to now position the bridge. You need to really show them that, okay, you have done X, Y, and Z inside of this free masterclass. You have been able to go from X, Y, and Z to X, Y, and Z. You already accomplished this big thing. Congratulations. So they got one step closer to what they want as that complete final outcome. Your job now inside of that funnel is to say, you did this, but if you want the full result, this is how you're going to get there. And that is where you are positioning and really building the bridge between that funnel and your membership. Okay, so that needs to be so clear. You need to show exactly inside of that funnel the method that you are going to use with them or that they are going to learn to get to that final result. You need to show them the roadmap, how they're actually going to get there using your membership. You can't just say, trust me, inside of this membership, you are going to get the world, you're going to get all these results, blah, blah, blah. You have to actually be able to communicate to them what process they're going to go through. What does that roadmap actually look like? What does their customer journey actually look like once they come inside that membership? You need to make sure that you turn over all the rocks. You want to reduce all confusion. You want to increase certainty. So your job is just to really paint that picture so clear to them that they can really see, okay, this is what I completed. This is a little bit of what I needed to get to that final result. But if I want the actual final result, this is the membership to do it. And I know I'm going to be able to do it because I actually know the roadmap. I know the process. I know the steps that I'm going to take inside of this membership. I know the benefit of being inside of this membership. Step number 4, and this is going to be huge. This is where a lot of people miss it, overlook it, or just kind of skim over it a little bit and don't really go all in. But this is going to be huge, especially if you want it to be hands off. You don't want to do sales calls. You want this to actually work. Is you need to present the cause and the effect. And basically what the cause and the effect are is they have 2 options, right? They have option 1, they do it on their own, and this is the effect. This is what happens when they do it on their own. So what maybe it's, well, you've been trying it on your own for this long, and this is where you've gotten. You keep downloading free resources like this. You keep trying to figure it out on your own. You keep blah, 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 blah. You get the idea. You also want to present them with what happens when they join the membership. So you're basically saying you choose option 1, do it on your own. This is the road. This is what happens. You choose option 2, you come into the membership. This is the road. This is what happens. So you're showing them basically like the fork in the road. That's kind of how I want you to imagine this. They are now at the fork in the road. They're trying to make their decision. It is your job to gently nudge them to the decision of your membership because you are now explaining what both paths are going to look like for them with either option. Number 5, and this is going to seal the deal. And again, this is another piece that a lot of people miss is they kind of just say, well, happy you're here. Here's the option to join the membership if you'd like. Here's the link when you're ready. And if you do that, people are going to wait forever. That is why step number 5 is you need to create decision energy. You need to have some sort of urgency for people to join right then and there, whether that is bonus stack is going away. Maybe they have extra bonuses from being in your funnel and they disappear after a number of hours. Maybe it is a coupon that expires after a couple of hours. Whatever it is, you need to have something that is going to create urgency. Now, if you're inside $1 Million Memberships Club, we teach you how to do this. We had a whole workshop on this. I can't remember now if it was January or December. What month is it even right now? February. We recently had a workshop on this where I explain exactly how you guys can do this, software to use to do this, all the things at the same time. This is automated, right? You're not sitting behind your computer clocking when everyone comes into your funnel and then trying to like create coupon codes and delete coupon codes and all the things. It has to be automated, and there's software to do that. So we teach you how to do that inside $1 Million Memberships Club. At the end of the day, you just need to be number one, so specific on the problem that you are solving, the result you are going to get, the mini result that you're going to get them through the funnel. You need to really be able to diagnose that. So, exactly what it is that they're struggling with, what it is that they want. Then you need to be able to prescribe it. You need to be able to create the bridge the gap from that funnel, from the freebie that you gave them to your membership. Next is you have to be able to really contrast what the outcomes are, whether they go with your membership or they try and do it on their own. You have to be able to say what the outcome, what the potential outcome of that and what the likely outcome of that is going to be. And lastly, you have to make the decision obvious. You have to create urgency to join. That's it. There's no simpler way to say that. There has to be some sort of urgency if you are not going to be doing sales calls and you want this to be completely automated so you can scale. Question number 2 we got in the DM box is, what's more important, content or community? So, content is, and I'm assuming when this person is saying content, they're meaning like the actual content that goes inside of the membership. So, whether that's modules, videos, resources, things like that. Here's the thing. If you have a membership that promises a specific result, so let's just say you have a business membership and it's promising people a fully formed operational business within X amount of time. Content inside of a membership like this is probably pretty important because they're going to need some sort of framework, some sort of pathway to get from baby business to fully fledged established business. So content is important. However, a lot of founders would look at a membership like this and just think, okay, as long as I have the best content in there, I have the best resources, there's so many modules to choose from, there's so many videos to watch, then it's good, then it's valuable. But the thing is your content is not actually what makes your community something people are going to binge, something people are going to want to stay in, want to be a part of, want to stay in long term. Your content is important if there's an end result, right? But the content really needs to be as minimal as possible in order to get that person said result. If you're kind of like, what? I really recommend after you listen to this episode, go to the episode before this one where I talk about if you should have a course or not inside of your membership. And I talk a little bit more about the role content plays inside of memberships and what that should really look like. So, because I just went into that, I won't dive super deep in here, but content, if there's an end result, then content's important. But community, that is what actually makes people stay. Okay. Retention is what is actually building the real wealth and the real culture inside of your community. 70% on average of your revenue as a membership founder is going to be coming from your reoccurring re-signing members. So that just means people who are re-signing month after month, keeping their subscription active month after month. That's where 70% of your revenue is coming from, which means retention is where the real money is, right? If you are constantly putting all your resources into creating content and selling, but you're not creating a community, you have a leaky bucket. And we all know how much I hate a leaky bucket around here. It's not a good thing. We don't want a leaky bucket in the membership world. I kind of look at it this way. Imagine you had a event to go to, okay? So you go to this event and you know nobody. You didn't bring a friend with you. You don't know anyone there. You get there and no one really brings you into conversation. You're just like at this event, you're kind of sitting on the sidelines, you're awkwardly filling up your drink or getting more food and kind of like awkwardly coming up to some circles of people, but no one's really inviting you into the conversation and you're not really inserting yourself into the conversation. What are the chances you are going to leave that event as soon as you can? Probably pretty good because nobody wants to be somewhere at an event, at this gathering, at a place where people are supposed to be connecting, but nobody's connecting with you or you're not able to get yourself into the room, right? Now, look at it the other way. If you went to this event and let's just say maybe you had a friend there or you made a connection right away, maybe you still went to this event by yourself, but then you walk in the room and you see someone and you just have a connection right away. You start talking, you go up to the food bar with them and you get food, you go sit down with them, you have a really good conversation. What are the chances you're going to stay at that event longer? You're probably going to stay much longer than in the first scenario, right? It's the exact same thing with your membership and the importance of community. You can have all of the content in the world. That event could have been the best event in the world. But if you are not actually bought in to the people and brought into the room of the people, then you're probably going to leave early, even if it's great. So it's the same thing with your membership. Community is the number one. It is so important. And unfortunately, so many founders are focusing on getting new members or making the content better, constantly trying to put in more content. And there's a time and a place for all that. I am not saying content's not important. I'm not saying sales aren't important, but the real heartbeat of your membership is going to be in the community. So it's a place that you always want to be focusing. Email from Daniel asks, I'm currently fully booked one on one and feeling exhausted. I love my clients, but I can't imagine doing this at the same pace 2 years from now. I want to transition into a membership, but I'm scared my income will drop during the shift. How do you make that transition without blowing up your stability? So, I kind of did the same thing when I transitioned to from one-on-ones to memberships, and it's actually a lot simpler than I think a lot of people make it out to be. Here's how I would do it. Here's how I personally did it. It works well. This is something I advise my members to do as well. Number one thing you want to do, you want to plan out your membership. Don't just get this idea that you want to do a membership and then blow up your one on one overnight. It's a terrible idea. Plan out your membership first. This does not mean you have to build out your membership. You don't have to build out all these courses and modules and get the whole platform set up. Just plan it out. Get a Google Doc, plan it out. Next thing you want to do is you want to start getting confirmation that this is something that people are really looking for. So start building a wait list. Talk about it on your Instagram, your social media, or your email list, wherever you are, your podcast, wherever you are, and start to just get the confirmation that this is what people want. Start talking about it. Have a wait list that people can sign up for. If you're even just testing out your idea, you don't even have to say this is coming. You could position it as I'm thinking of doing this. Would this be something that you are interested in? Or if you are confident in the membership, you've already had that confirmation from your audience. This is something that they need. You know that this is something that's going to hit that they're going to need, you're passionate even about creating it, then you can just completely own it and just say, this is what's coming, this is what's in the works, and just build a wait list for it. This becomes a place where all of the people who are interested in this, all of your warm leads, hot leads, there's a place for you to actually be able to reach out to them directly once your membership is ready or getting close to. Then what I would do is I would just slowly start to talk about it more in my content. I would talk about it in my stories. I'd make it as little PSs in my emails. I would just slowly start to bring awareness and create hype around the membership, even way before it was ready. By doing this, you're actually taking your audience along with you while this is coming. The thing you don't want to do is you don't want to be doing all this work behind the scenes on the back end, building out this membership. And then suddenly in 6 months, you go to open up doors and nobody knew it was coming. Nobody could prep for it. Nobody could get excited for it. And you'll just hear crickets. That's what you don't want to do. So if you are doing something like one on one and you're wanting to transition more into this model, this is the perfect opportunity to really build yourself a runway, get your audience really familiar with it and excited about it. Then, this way, once you have a little bit more of a structure to your membership, and again, you don't have to have the whole membership ready, but once you know the structure, especially if you are going to have a membership that gets people a certain result where you have to have some sort of framework or a success path for your members, you want to at least understand exactly what's going to be going into your membership. But this gives you a really great opportunity to then test it even more, pressure test it even more, and open up your membership to pre sale while you're still building it. So this way you're still working with your one-on-ones, but now you're starting to introduce this new offer to your audience. You're getting people excited. You're building a wait list. So you're actually getting people on a list in a place. You're pre-selling. So you're actually starting to get in income for this membership that's not ready yet. But now you have the proof of concept. You have the social proof that people are joining. You're able to actually start building a community before it's even ready. So what I recommend you do is you set a target for yourself revenue wise from your membership. So you set a target that once you hit this amount in monthly revenue for your membership, that is when you're going to make the full transition. And what I don't recommend doing is launching your membership for the first time, telling your one on ones to F off, and not opening up applications for one on ones with you. That is just a recipe for you living in complete survival mode and freaking the fuck out. So, what I would recommend doing is setting that goal for yourself. What is that target that you know if you can get to this with your membership, even if it's a little bit scary of a number, you have to set that one target number that you know, okay, once I hit this, proof of concept is there. I am going all in with the membership. Then you have two options. It's either you can close applications to one-on-one so people can no longer apply to work with you one-on-one. They just go to your membership if you are not wanting to do the one-on-one thing anymore at all. And then you still work with the one-on-ones that you have until they are finished, until your guys' relationship has come to a close. Or you could close applications to your one on one, and then you can give your current one on ones a notice of this new direction and an end date. So maybe it's 6 months down the road. You're just saying, I've loved working with you, blah, 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 blah. This is the new direction. I am no longer going to be working one on ones. Here's our end date. You can do that. Another thing you can do that I recommend is if you are really wanting to close up the one on one thing, you don't really want to be working with people at a one on one capacity anymore. You can also offer your current people, your current clients, and even past clients spots to your membership at a really, really great rate, something that only they would be getting, just to show your appreciation for them. So there's a million ways that you can do this, but at the end of the day, just look at the long game. Don't make any rash decisions. Don't just close out your one-on-ones. Know that if you are wanting to make your end game the membership, there's going to be a transition period, and yeah, it's going to feel a little bit sticky, especially when you are really busy with one-on-ones, but then you're also going to be really busy getting the membership set up. That's going to be a busy period in your life, and that's one of those periods of time where you just are not going to have a work-life balance. That is going to be work, 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 and that is okay because you are doing it for an end game. Just be smart about it. Set your targets. Know what you're going to be doing with your one on ones. Have conversations with them. Just be open and honest with them, and everything will work out. Okay, next we have Mary, which was an email submission again. And they say, I am doing a soft launch with around 20 people for free to test out my idea. But would a $20 membership allow me to get to 5 figures a month? Or should I be doing something different? Would I be able to use the resources inside $1 Million Memberships Club program to achieve 5 figures with this idea? First of all, I'll just answer the short one first. Yes, $1 Million Memberships Club is for you whether you are just starting out with an idea, you don't even have a membership yet, and you're wanting to build a full-fledged membership, sales plan, launch plan, visibility plan, everything that you need to create a sticky community, all of the things that go into memberships, and you're wanting to scale it to 7 figures, it is for you. It is also for you if you are coming in and you already have an established membership and you are really wanting to just tighten up your systems, learn how to expand, all of the things. Second, you can hit 5 figures with any price on any offer. It's not about the price. What it really comes down to is being very intentional with your visibility and then trust from your audience. You need to be visible and your audience needs to feel comfortable and excited buying from you. It's really that simple. Your audience needs massive value from you with proven competency before you ever even ask them to invest. But even if you have an extremely low ticket membership like this, people still need value from you. And what I mean by that is I have no idea what your like social following is like or where people are finding you or what that looks like. But let's just say you have a brand new social media account and that's the only place that people can find you on. If you just pop up a membership link on there, there's a even if it's a $5 membership, you're going to have a very hard time selling. So you have to have massive value with that proven competency first. People need to trust that you are the person they want to invest into. Now, that being said, in this question, you did say you have already 20 people for free to test. So, if that's the case, if you already have 20 people, the thing you have to do is you have to be really strategic. Anytime someone does a soft launch or like a founder's launch and they're doing, or like a beta testing membership, where essentially you're just bringing in people for free to test the idea and to bring them into the group and to kind of like run through all of your systems and your platform and all of that kind of thing, you still need to have a strategy because 99% of the time, what ends up happening is people get people into something for free because the idea of the membership sounds really good. But then what do we do if something's free? We don't show up. We don't log in. We forget about it. Like it's just not forefront because we didn't put any money into it. There's no guidelines around it. So if you're going to do something like this, you need to have structure in place. So an example for that is for you, number one, is you have to have some sort of game plan to turn them into paid members after their free trial, however long that free period is. You have to have a game plan. You can't just bring them in there and then just let them be lifetime free people inside of your membership. So that's the first thing. The second thing is you have to have an understanding that it's a win-win situation. So for them, they get the free membership. What I'm not sure what your membership does, but whatever the result is, that's what they get. They get a free community for this result. That's their win. Your win is they let you know and they are in communication with you of what needs to be improved, what they're loving, what they're not loving, what they're finding while they're testing out your membership. That needs to be in writing. That needs to be like part of the agreement of them coming in. And also that you get the social proof, right? You can show on your socials, on your marketing, what wins people are getting from this, what they're enjoying from this membership. And the last thing is, like I said, free is really hard to get people to show up. So you could tell them all of this before they come in. You can say, oh, well, this is your win and this is my win. But at the end of the day, again, if it's free, it's like it's even harder to get people to show up than if it's paid. So I recommend if you're doing something like this, you have to have some sort of incentive for them to show up for free. So maybe this could be a list of different type of bonuses or prizes or whatever it is. There needs to be something that is a reason for people to be showing up in the community and really utilizing this free founders trial period. So if I were you and I had this plan in place, here's exactly what I would do. Number one is I'd have a really, really clear framework of how this works. So, exactly like I just said, what you get versus what they get, and having that in stone so that those boundaries and those expectations are very, very clear. Number two is I'd be working insanely hard, like pedal to the freaking metal. Ew, I hate that I just said that. That's not a phrase I say often. And I regret that. Anyways, you know what I mean? I'd be working really, really hard on growing my audience specific to this membership niche right now during this test period. So if your membership is all on gut health, I would be going all in. Like, I mean, 3 to 5 posts, trial reels, if you have it on Instagram, are really, really great for growth. But I would be going like multiple posts a day that are getting me new followers, more views in that niche. Okay. So basically landing in front of my ideal client's eyes. I would be going in, that would be my biggest priority is getting the views, is getting the actual audience, but getting the right people, not just any views, the right people to my page so that when it's time for me to actually do a paid launch for this membership, I have the people there. That's so important. I'd be using that one platform. Like, let's just say you're using Instagram, for example. I would be using Instagram to gain trust, to position myself as the authority and just the go to person for that niche. So, the go to person for gut health. That would be my job in this time period. I then learn how to sell using really, really strategic sales events once the audience was there. So again, You can have a great sales event. You could do a live event. You could do an incubator event like what we teach inside of Million Dollar Memberships Club, and it could be amazing. But if the people aren't there, you're not going to sell. And if the right people aren't there, you're not going to get the people inside the membership. So, if and only if I was growing my audience and really getting people to my page, I would then learn how to sell using a strategic sales event once the audience was there. And I would host my first really strategic, really planned out launch. I know you asked about Million Dollar Memberships Club in this question, and these visibility practices and these strategic sales events is something that we teach inside of Million Dollar Memberships Club. So I guess my last tip would be come inside Million Dollar Memberships Club because we can show you how to do all of this the right way. At the end of the day, memberships are simple, like very, very simple. You have to go between visibility and really creating the culture inside of your membership and then also selling it. And when you're really rotating between those two, you are, I guess, those three down the visibility, creating the sticky culture, and then understanding how to actually sell your membership, you are golden. It's easy, but memberships are not passive. So the sales events and the audience growth that just must be in place in order to get to your 5-figure, 6-figure months. All right, everybody, that is it for our February Q&A episode. I love doing these. If you have questions that you would like to submit for our next Q&A coming up in March, you can find me on Instagram at the Membership Muse, or you can email your submissions in to support@paigevandy.com. I appreciate you, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye. See you later. I'll see you.
See you later.